Hello YouTube, it's Tony. So today I'll show you a fast and AFK combat training guide for 2019. I know what you might be thinking. Yes, I've made 2 videos on Saradomin Encampment a long time ago. However, I realized that it's actually even more AFK nowadays. This is a high-level combat training method for both melee and magic. Technically, you only need 83 Slayer and 70 Agility. However, I do recommend the following. Well, first of all, you want to have high combat stats. Secondly, it really does help if you have overloads and turmoil. You also want to complete the Mighty Fall quest because the God Wars Dungeon teleport will teleport you right to the entrance. It is located in God Wars Dungeon 1. The fastest way to get there is by using the God Wars Dungeon teleport. Obviously, if you don't have that, then you can still use the Trollheim teleport, but you will have to climb around the mountain obstacles. So this is what the minimap looks like for the encampment locations. For the Saradomin Encampment, it is located in the southeast corner. Then for Bandos Stronghold, it is in the northwest corner. This is my equipment setup for melee. Now you want to bring 3 pieces of Ghost Hunter equipment. It is obtained by killing ghosts. You then also want to bring any sort of halberd. The perks I have are Precise 5 as well as Aftershock 3. After that I have Bandos Plate Body and Bandos Boots. You definitely want to avoid Torva because it will completely remove the aggression. The perks I suggest are Scavenging and Undead Slayer. For the gloves, you can also bring a Cinderbane gloves. The necklace I'll bring is the Demon Horn necklace. By combining this with Bone Crusher, it will give you unlimited prayer. Luck of the Dwarves is an emergency bank teleport. Finally, you want to bring Shard of Zeros. It will remove aggression at first, so you probably don't want the creatures attacking you just as you enter. Moving on, we have the equipment setup for magic. It is pretty much the same thing, except I highlighted a couple of differences. Well, first of all, you want to bring a Noxious Staff instead. Now the perks I have are Aftershock 3, but instead of using Precise 5, you actually want to use Caraming 3. I'm going to explain later how much it really helps. You then want to bring Subjugation Top and Boots. I do suggest you avoid Virtus because it will completely prevent the aggression. Here is my inventory setup. You want to bring either Holy or Supreme Overloads. After that, I have a Weapon Poison++. The Smoke Devil Familiar and the Dustcloud Scrolls, they are actually really helpful here. Obviously, you have to bring Air Runes if you're using magic. For the Attuned Ectoplasmator, not only will it trigger Demon Horn Necklace, which in turn would restore prayer, but it will also give you extra prayer XP as well. Spring Cleaner will give you the opportunity to AFK and profit at the same time. For my Slayer tool belt, I have the Bone Crusher. You can also bring the Advanced Gold Accumulator, but I don't think a lot of people are going to have 1.5 million Dungeoneering tokens. Using melee, here is a strategy for the Saradomin Encampment. As soon as you enter, you want to take off your Shard of Zeros. This in turn lets everything be aggressive to you. As you can see right here, your character can run all over the place with melee. That is why the XP rates will vary a lot here. It should be fairly easy to survive. I mean, you don't even need Scrimshaw Vampirism for some reason. I remember like 3 years ago, it was so difficult to survive even with the Scrimshaw Vampirism. If you're still struggling to survive, then you can also bring an Amulet of Souls or the Blood Amulet. You have to renew your aggression every 10 minutes. In order to do so, you have to exit the encampment and then you'll enter it again. Here are the prayers in the action bar for melee. Well, for the prayers, you want to have Turmoil and Soul Split. With that being said, this is the rotation. First, I have Meteor Strike. Then I follow that up with Hurricane, Quake, and Cleave. Finally, just fill the rest with any sort of basic abilities. You might be able to use Berserk here, but you're definitely going to struggle to survive. Moving on, we have the strategy for magic. As soon as you're finished setting up once again, you want to take off your Shard of Zeros. Now stand exactly where I'm standing, which is between the rocks. The main difference with magic is that you do get pretty consistent XP per hour. Unlike melee, you don't have to move all over the place. You know how I said before that the Caraming perk really helps here, right? Basically, the chain ability will spread across the entire map. This in turn would make kills not only faster, but it also heals you more damage. Just like melee, this should be fairly easy to survive. You might get hit hard once in a while though. Even without Vampirism Aura, I can still survive with magic. Like I said, if you're struggling to survive, then you can otherwise bring an Amulet of Souls or a Blood Amulet. Don't forget to renew your aggression every 10 minutes. This is what I have for the prayers and the action bar. I have Torment and Soul Split. For my Revolution rotation, this is what I have. First, I have Corruption Blast. Then I follow that up with Sunshine. The other two multi-target basics are Dragon Breath and Chain. You can also put Tsunami as well. Finally, just fill the rest with any sort of basic abilities you want. Here are the XP rates. In 1 hour, I was able to get 900k base combat XP. That is without the clan avatar or any other XP boost besides the Ghost Hunter outfit. For melee and magic, these are the same XP rates. I was 99% AFK, with the exception of drinking potions and renewing the aggression. I also got 70k per XP per hour. You can only get 2.8 mil GP per hour in gross income. If you were to factor in the cost of supplies like springs, then it only bumps it all the way down to 1.5 million. Because of this, it's not really good money. These monsters will also drop a lot of low-level salvages, so it is pretty decent for components. I find that this place is better than the Abyss. It is not very crowded, well, unless you're talking about the spiritual mage bots. I do have a raw 1 hour footage for both melee and magic, and I will definitely leave that link in the description. I've talked about Saradomin Encampment already, so let's talk about the Bandos Stronghold. Just like Saradomin Encampment, you will still use the same inventory and gear setup. Unfortunately, you can only use magic, and I will explain a little bit later why that's the case. You want to stand in the south section right in the middle of the map. Yeah, so it is a very large map as a whole. First, you want to take off your Shard of Zeros. The prayers in the action bar I'm using is just the same as Saradomin Encampment. For the Karaming perk, it does help here, although compared to Saradomin Encampment, it won't have the same amount of impact. The reason being is because the mobs are pretty spread out. So as I said before, you can only use magic effectively. Melee is going to make you run all over the place. There are so many walls, so you cannot always lure the aggressive mobs everywhere. If you end up being stuck behind the walls, you'll probably be stuck there forever. Well, that is until you manually click out. So as a whole, I find that this is easier to survive compared to the Saradomin Encampment. Every 10 minutes you have to renew your aggression, so just go ahead and exit the stronghold and then enter it again. You can otherwise run north instead. The amount of magic XP per hour I got completely AFK was 700k. Compared to Saradomin Encampment, it's not really good XP per hour. The drops are way worse as well. However, because it's so easy to survive, you could probably do this with an even lower level setup. Secondly, nobody really bots this place. I do have a 1 hour footage of this, and I will definitely leave that link in the description. So to wrap this entire video up, God Wars Dungeon 1 is still a relevant place to train combat. Surely Saradomin Encampment may be slower XP per hour, but at least it requires a lot less effort, and you can actually do it without the Scrimshaw of Vampirism. There is also Zamorak Fortress as well, and I will leave that guide link in the description. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope it helps. If I missed anything, feel free to ask. Also, be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already, because I will definitely be making more and more combat guides in the future.